All right. It says, and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. So there's going to be a war in heaven, man. Yahawashi, who the world called Jesus Christ, is coming back, man, with this army, the angels, man, the chariots. And you can have Esau trying to fight against them in the heavens, man. They show you in the movie Independence Day, you know, and different other movies, comics, that, you know, you got the earthlings trying to fight against the ones that come from a different dimension, like Thanos, you know, the Avengers, or the X-Men with Apocalypse. You see? But the people on the earth are not going to win. You know, they're not going to win. The Lord is going to just, he just put it in your heart to have that want to try to fight, man. He's just going to put it in your heart to do it. You know, just like he puts everything else in someone's heart, man. You know, let's get that out here in the book of Proverbs real quick. This is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. All right, just like in the book of Ezekiel, right? When he put the hook and Magog. I'll read it. Ezekiel 38 in verse 3. And say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and of Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So he's going back to Proverbs 21, right? The heart of the king is in Yahweh's hand, man, and he turneth it whithersoever he willeth. You know. Let's go. Slakia, bros. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. See, it's the same thing, man. He's putting it in their mind to do it. That evil thought, try to fight against the Most High, but they're not going to prevail. Like it says here, it says, and the beast was taken with the false prophet and wrought miracles before him, which he deceived them, that he had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. This is Revelations 12:7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought his angels and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. That meaning that they're not going to be here in rulership anymore. They're not going to be on top. They're not going to be at the top of the food chain no more. Okay? Triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, man. You know? They're going to be brought down, just like all these highly exalted nations, these kingdoms, like Capernaum, was brought down, brought low. You know? And it's going to be by way of that war, man. The ICBM missile, the chariots, everything's going to have a go at taking down Esau, man. The animals are going to take part in it. All right? It says in Jeremiah 51:4, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. So people are going to die out here in the streets too. You know? There's going to be all types of civil unrest. There's going to be civil war. All right? There's going to be race This is gonna just all be all. People are just gonna bug out, man. They're gonna go all out, killing, murdering, raping, everything, man. It says, "For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel." Why? Because the Most High, he still had that promise made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man, that he was going to bring back Israel and heal that small remnant, that elect, okay, and deliver them. Because there are people before a place, so they don't have to be in the land of Israel. It's talking about their mindset, man. Okay, because this whole earth is the Garden of Eden. This is paradise, man. It was originally supposed to be that way in the beginning, right? Talking about over there in Israel in the Fertile Crescent, right? The cradle of civilization, the beginning, the Garden of Eden, which is between the Euphrates, the Nile, right? The Tigris River, the Red Sea, right? Okay, but really the whole earth was that, man. Because prior, whenever when they had that separation of the land, was it Pangea, right? And there was some type of great catastrophic event occurred where the land separated. So that's why Chile, in this part of the region of the earth, connects perfectly with that part over there, Africa and stuff like that. Because this land going down was a beautiful land, man. This land was beautiful. It was fresh. The animals, there was plenty of beautiful animals, plenteous of animals here on this side. When the Native American Indians came, everything was brand new. It was untouched. It's in the sense of it wasn't highly populated. Still to this very day, people still can't understand the Amazon. They still can't understand the what is it called, the wildlife, I believe they call it the ecosystem that is there. They still don't understand it, man. They don't understand how they survived. The indigenous people that land survived there. It's a mystery to them. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." This is the Lord's time, man. This is the time of the Lord. Now it's high time to wake out of sleep. Our salvation is nearer than we believe, man. Why are we saying that? Because this is the Lord's time. He's coming back. Yahawashi's time, man. This ain't Esau's time no more. His glory days are over with. This is Yahawashi's time, Israel's time. Okay? It says, "Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad." That's why they're going to turn their back away they're going to turn their back on America, man, and take part in destroying America. The ones that he thought were at confederate with him in the book of Obadiah, they're going to turn away and take part in destroying this place, man. America's in what, $1 trillion debt, to these other nations, and, high inflation, hyperinflation. So they want blood, man. They want blood. It says, "Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed." Why? Because she has a grievous wound, man. A wound that is incapable of being healed. Let's see if I can find one of those examples that the Lord is speaking about that. So I know he always, when Yahawashi speaks of that, it's talking about like Israel. But this is Nahum 3 and 19. "There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee. For upon whom had not thy wickedness passed continually. See? So there is no healing of thy bruise, man. So there's a grievous wound upon America, Esau, okay, that cannot be healed. There should be another one in the book of Ezekiel or even Jeremiah that goes into the same thing, but at this time it's talking pertaining to Israel. Let's see. Brothers, bear with me. Try to find this one. Right, so the Lord said we could have healed you, but you cannot be healed. You know? This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 12. For thus saith the Lord, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased. Why criest thou for thy affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. That's it on there. But that's talking about Israel. But that's still what the curses are falling upon Esau now, you know, pursuant to Deuteronomy 30. So this curse that fell upon Israel is now transferring over to America, to Esau. Going back to Jeremiah 51 and 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. That's how the sins have reached to Yahawashi. You know? This is Jeremiah 51 and 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroys all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and will roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. So this kingdom America is likened unto a mountain, right? Because a mountain has a paramount, which is at the peak of its top, man. Right? It's at the highest point, its peak, the paramount. Okay. So the Lord's gonna throw him out. He's like the who's the king of the hill. Yahawashi is gonna give you the boot, man. He's gonna set himself back. He's always been on the throne, but now he's gonna rule on the earth, man, once and for all. It says, I'm gonna read that again. I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and roll thee down the rocks, and I will make thee a burnt mountain. King of the hill, Yahawashi, man. He's gonna kick you, and he's gonna at the same time light your ass on fire, man. By way of the missiles, the ICBM missile. You know? Let's get this one in Isaiah, and I'm going to close out. This is the book of Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay? So I'm going to end it with that. I hope you brothers were edified. Y'all brothers stay strong. Keep pushing. You know, be circumspect. You know, and just keep that contrite and broken spirit, being having a repentant heart and humbleness. And Yahawashi With that, shalom.